Less than 2 months after his glorious WWE debut, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, has championship gold around his, shoulder. I don't think he wants to put it around his waist because even though he has lost a tremendous amount of weight, he is in incredible shape. Even though he was in great shape before, he's just going to wear it proudly on his shoulder. Other things occurred on the eve of SummerSlam. Let's talk about it. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown, and yes, surprise, motherfuckers, I'm here with a Smackdown review. Why? I wanted to see if they were actually going to do the right thing and put the titles on the Bloodline and save the tag team division, or at least try to elevate it. Because I'm sorry, DIY just wasn't going to do it. I mean, they just weren't. They waited too long to give them the tag team championships on the main roster. Just saying. So, they were at the Rocket Mortgage Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, and that has around 19,000 seat capacity. I don't know, they had 9,500, maybe 10K. I don't really know. I mean, the crowd was pretty loud for at least some of the show. So, yes, it's a go-home show before SummerSlam. And before I dive into the rest of this review that will not take very long in all honesty, well, I'm not going to be watching SummerSlam live. There's a reason for that. I'm going to be working a back-to-back. Whatever, the paycheck's more important. I could have gotten out of it if I wanted to. I could have said no, but it's money. And honestly, I'm only interested in about half the goddamn card. And one of the matches I was sort of interested in kind of dashed completely because of recent events that I'll talk about once we get to a particular segment. So, oh look, a noted bigot and transphobic fuck Logan Paul arrived in a prime truck. Let me just say right now that the rise of hatred towards trans people, it's just ridiculous. It's goddamn ridiculous. Check out the rules in Algeria. I mean, not that, anybody really knows a ton about Algeria except those that live there, but if you just Google for a few seconds, you'll know that there's no goddamn way that a boxer could have been trans coming from there. Now, there are other discussions as far as, medical things that go on with fighters or athletes or whatever. But the fact that he was exposed as a transphobic idiot, Pat McAfee, that noted piece of shit, I'm glad that he's been going through a rough time because honestly, if he's going to be that goddamn brain dead, maybe, just maybe, he was never that good of a guy to begin with. And Logan fucking Paul, has always been like this. And some of you dumb motherfuckers want to defend him. Oh, he can take like a fish to water with the wrestling. I agree that he can do the flips, he can do the moves, he can do the rehearsed stuff, and he has done well. It doesn't change the fact that he's a goddamn bigot, a piece of shit, a crypto scammer. He did the stuff in that Japanese forest, and nothing is going to change with him. So it's nice to see that everybody's finally waking up and pulling their heads out of their collective asses, realizing how he is. Oopsies? Well, maybe the oopsies will involve him not being part of WWE after tomorrow. Now, I'm pretty certain that they'll still stick around, or have him stick around. Maybe not have him around for a bit. But yeah, Triple H kind of just showing that he's not really any different than Vince, because if he really was such a good-hearted individual and somebody that wanted to have change, he'd say, Logan, you need to go home. You need to just go home. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion, by the way. That is a great thing about this country, but yeah, he's not a good guy. Never has been. Never will be. Maybe his soon-to-be, soon-to-be mother of his child will take that child away, and he will never see it, and he'll die alone and afraid. If only. Also, yeah, he's got some legal stuff coming about the Prime logo and where that came from, and a whole bunch of stuff going on, so the walls might be closing in on Logan Paul. It'd be such a shame that a little bottom-feeding bitch like that some kids happen to like because kids are idiots and parents need to treat them better and train them better and educate them better, as to probably not supporting such goddamn piece of shit celebrities. Let me just say, I don't really care what happens to Logan Paul. Logan Paul could end up in a permanent vegetative state. And I'd say, oh well, that happened. Let's just poke him with a stick to make sure he's still breathing. So anyway, yeah, Cody arrives to a pop. Doesn't really get to say much. Solo appears. We want Roman chants. They've milked this about as much as they can. And yeah, they were basically, they talked about, Cody talked about how they're both little brothers and, having to rise above that label. And Cody got a couple good lines in here, but a lot of his promos, I'm sorry, they're stagey. They just don't work. It's going to end up being a Bloodline rules match. Because we need shenanigans. Because they got to hide the fact that Solo is not ready for this. I'm sorry, he's not. I know that's kind of what they've been hinting at. That he's taken over since Roman, has not been part of WWE. He took a break after WrestleMania. He's been grieving about his father. And I can only imagine what he's been going through. I suspect he will show up at SummerSlam, though. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. But, yeah, the Bloodline shows up. Jacob Fatu and then Tama Tonga, and then Tangaloa, who has an eye patch. People wonder why he has an eye patch. Well, remember, he took a header at Money in the Bank, so maybe it detached the ocular nerve. Or maybe he suffered injury. I mean, I don't really know. I know he had a concussion. That's why he missed a goddamn low blow, because he was not doing well. So, I do want to say this, though, that Cody did have one pretty decent line at the end. It's like, I don't want to battle your family. I'm not scared of any of y'all. I ain't scared of any of you motherfuckers. But he's like, I don't want to battle your family. I don't want to do that. I don't want to beat your family. He's like, I just have to beat the tribal chief. But since the tribal chief is not here, I'll just settle for beating the wannabe. That was a good line. Good way to sell it there. So then Melo talks about beating Andrade the next time they face off. He didn't. He didn't do that. They busted out some good moves. The crowd was popping eventually. It went through a couple breaks for whatever reason. Andrade Olio won with a roll-up. And Santos vows to bring Legado del Fantasma back up to prominent status. And boy, Elektra, good grief. Why are Apollo and Corbin teaming up? I mean, I don't genuinely care, but I'm also just slightly curious. This team reeks of, we have nothing better for you, so here you are. So, yeah, Corbin tries to stop both of them, but he gets mauled eventually, and Santos wins. Logan Paul, by the way, had a homecoming thing. He had a banner come down. Yeah, it was painted on the goddamn thing. LA Knight came out to try to salvage this whole thing. And then he goes to look for another banner. He runs into Pretty Deadly, a.k.a. the worst tag team in WWE today. And then manages to find the Prime truck that Logan Paul arrived in and takes the Prime truck and drives it off. I was hoping that Logan would just jump on there. And then he would just have some kind of thing that would take him out of the goddamn match. And then his, girlfriend could see that. And then she could be looking at her womb, realizing, oh no, my meal ticket's gone. Because I'm a talentless bitch that decided to get banged by an idiot. Maybe she's actually good and an influencer herself, and she's famous. I don't really know, and I don't really care. If you're going to lay with a dog, you're going to get fleas. So, WWE NFTs. I wonder if Logan gave him some ideas on that. Isla and Alba took on Jade and Bianca for the Women's Tag Team Championships. They had teased earlier, tension with Jade and Bianca. It's coming and coming. Lol. So, jumpstart by the challengers. And it was what it was. It was hard to focus because Isla is just very captivating to me for unclear reasons. They had Jade sell a lot. Bianca got the hot tag and destroys them both. And just when it seemed like they were going to get the victory, here comes a catcher's mitt with hair. Oh, wait, it's Blair Davenport. I'm sorry. Who has no personality and just, this is not working. It's not. I don't get it. I don't. She has been with WWE for a few years. I know she's been in NXT for a good while and just got called to the main roster. This ain't fucking working. She causes a DQ. Naomi's going to come back and we're going to have a 3-on-3 match and we're going to extend this program. And then Bianca's going to snap on Jade and then they're going to have Isla and Alba drop the tag titles to somebody else. So, there's a Ringer article on praising Michael Cole. You have fun with that. I don't hate the man as as an individual, but I've always thought at best he was a decent announcer and often he's just kind of an idiot. So, SummerSlam card rundown. We get a Nia package. I'm saying right now that if Bayley does beat Nia, Tiffany will not be able to salvage the women's division, send everybody home until the Rumble. Tiffany got gifted a briefcase, a new pink briefcase. So let me get this straight. Fox will censor anything, but they allow a dirty blonde to show her pink on camera. You're welcome. And then Chelsea Green and Piper, well, Chelsea talks and Piper just stands there and they and then poodles, I think is what she said. I think everybody pooted out of there. Tiffany is making the most of this, and I like the customized briefcase. That is nice. That also indicates she's probably going to have it for a bit. Watch her cash in at SummerSlam just to negate the whole thing. Jacob's team is a rare win for Def Rebel because they're not very good. So the bloodline of Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, along with Solo Sikoa and Tongaloa, not Tangaloa. I'm going to call him Tangaloa, though, because I'm used to it. Took on DIY. Gargano talked before, and that made me think, please, just have him get beat. I don't hate Gargano as a person. I've seen everything I need to see from him. I don't find him interesting. And oh, look, I said this is going to go sub 5 minutes. It went about 9.5. That's bullshit. I don't care if Gargano's from Cleveland. I don't care. He lost, and Jacob looked really strong, hitting a Samoan drop, and then hitting the moonsault, and then hitting a DDT. The moonsault is so goddamn impressive. He is so smooth. So yes, the Bloodline now have the Tag Team Championships. And that's all I have to say about that. So yes, again, SummerSlam review up later. I may try to watch some of it when I'm at work if it's not that busy tomorrow night, and then catch up on the rest when I get home. We'll see. The bottom line is you won't get a SummerSlam review until at least sometime Sunday morning, possibly Sunday afternoon. And if it's delayed that long, I apologize. I truly apologize, but work is more important. So anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. This is probably the only SmackDown review I'm going to do for a while, by the way, because I'm burned out. See you soon.